housing crisis in this province, like most crises, affects the most vulnerable disproportionately. And students, particularly international students, are among the vulnerable. The annual influx of students looking for housing also, of course, then in turn exacerbates housing shortage for everyone else. Over the next few days on Main Street, we're going to have a series of conversations about the student housing crisis and about some possible solutions. Starting today with Rylan Kinnon. Rylan is co-founder and the CEO of SpacesShared. SpacesShared is an app that matches seniors willing to share their homes with students looking for affordable places to live. Rylan, welcome to Main Street. How are you?
I'm good, Jeff. Thanks for having me on today.
No, it's fascinating. And I was saying today when we were talking about this conversation series that I think that when it comes to the housing crisis, there's not going to be maybe a silver bullet, but all these kind of quote unquote outside the box ideas, solutions, I think are all going to play part of this. So I'm fascinated by what you've done. And maybe you could explain a bit about what SpacesShared is and where and why it started.
I'd be happy to, Jeff. And I just want to take a moment to say you're absolutely right. There is no magic silver bullet to this challenge, which is impacting all Canadians. And as you said, it particularly impacts international students, but there's knock-on effects all the way through our housing market in Canada. So SpacesShared is focused on, we've built a platform that makes it safe and easy for older adults who have additional space in the home to be able to match to a student who's looking for safe and affordable housing. We simplify the process from end to end. The host and the student create a profile. We verify the host's identity and the listing address. We verify the student's identity and that they are in fact enrolled at a post-secondary institution. They match based on common interests, areas of study, areas of work, whether they have the same expectations around cleanliness in the home, around cooking in the home, around substance consumption and guests in the home. They have the ability to message in the platform and then meet by video in the platform. And if they want to proceed with their home share arrangement, they can actually enter into a home share agreement on the platform and set up sending and receiving payments. So we've tried to make it easy for there to be a safe spot for older adults willing to open up their homes to be able to meet the students who are interested in renting those rooms.
And Rylan, does the payment, is that direct payment or does that go processed through SpacesShared as well, like the guarantee, I guess?
So we process the payment,
Good.
And for exactly the reason you raised, there are so many stories, particularly of international students, but also domestic students and non-students being scammed with fake rental advertisements. And students and others are so desperate that they put up a multi-month or entire year deposit of the rent, and then they find out that listing doesn't exist. So we don't forward the payment to the host until the day the student moves in.
When did this get up and get going?
So the idea came about 18 months ago.
Okay.
The company was created about 15 months ago. We launched with Georgian College in Barrie in April. We launched with Humber College in Toronto in June. We've been active at the University of Calgary and Lambton College since the summer. And we now have many, many post-secondary institutions reaching out to us saying, we want to help our students. We want to help our communities. How can we partner? I
bet you do, because for those schools, like I got to be thinking that particularly for kids who might be coming from, or students, I should say, coming from, international students or even students from other parts of the country, if they're looking at considering Dal or SMU or the Mount or whatever here in Halifax, but then going, but there's no housing. Like that could lead. So I'm sure the universities are 100% on board. How has it been since you've come online with Humber and some of those other schools that you've had, a bit of time with now? How are things working out?
So it's working great. Like one of the things that encourage me the most are Canadians saying, you know what, I understand that it's hard to find housing for students, and I want to open up my home, and I want to provide an opportunity for the student to get safe and affordable housing. And there's benefits for me in it too. I get company, I get assistance around the home if I want it, and I get extra income. But for me as a Canadian, I feel it's really important for us to be welcoming to newcomers. This is a country that is predominantly newcomers other than our Indigenous peoples. So all of us, I think, reaching back maybe a few generations, in my case, just one generation, we're newcomers to Canada, and Canada opened its arms to us, and I feel we have a responsibility as Canadians to do the same thing.
Now, the benefits are obvious, I think, for students. You just mentioned a few for seniors who have let maybe get company, get some help around the house. But what does the research say about how well this can actually benefit or the benefits for seniors?
Well, the research shows the benefits for seniors are improved mental health, which is not surprising. We all do better, I think, particularly in a post-COVID context. Yeah. We've all experienced loneliness in a way we may not have prior to COVID. So addressing loneliness is huge. Increasing community engagement, because you're out in the community more, you're getting the support, you have the capacity to get out into the community if that's been a barrier previously. And all of those things lead to improvements in physical health outcomes as well. We've also heard, and this is more anecdotally, just some of the things that older adults who were previously living on fixed incomes have been able to splash out on a little bit, whether it's a renovation in the home, a new appliance, a new tool in the home. Suddenly they have additional income that they can use towards those ends. So there's a myriad of benefits for older adults, and obviously a myriad of benefits for the students as well.
Now, did you say you are present on the East Coast, or will you be coming to the East Coast? Is it available to East Coast students now?
So I can't reveal any of the names of the partners who reached out to us, but I would expect we will have at least one announcement on the East Coast in the next month or so. I'm hoping more. We've had a few colleges and universities on the East Coast reach out saying, hey, we heard about it. We'd love to partner. So we're exploring those conversations. We hope that we can be, as you said, one of the ways that we try to address the housing challenge. It's going to take a lot of different ideas. It's going to take a lot of community engagement, and it's going to take, I think, a lot of empathy on the parts of those who have homes, who have extra space, and want to be able to share that space, both for the benefits they receive and the benefits they can provide to another.
Rylan, thanks so much for this.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Jeff. Thanks so much for having me on.
You bet. Take care.